It's time for the ultimate test to find out which cryptid is the best. Figure out who'd win in a fight. Gonna be a violent night. Cryptid power levels. Cryptid power levels. Gonna find the champion. Cryptid power levels. Bigfoot versus Dogman, who would win? Mothman versus Jesus, the bets are in. Donny versus Big Ol' Nessie. Hold tight, folks, things bout to get messy. Cryptid power levels. Cryptid power levels. Gonna find the champion. Cryptid power levels. Which cryptid has the ultimate power to fight and rage and make other cower? Donny says stuff for crazy nights. Ultimate cryptid power. Who will win the fight?
Oh, damn. I think we're live, gentlemen. Holy
We are
shit.
there.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
I'm all nervous all of a sudden. Holy crap, there's
Still
people
think you look
watching
like
us,
Randall Park
guys.
on that.
Yeah, we all look alike to you, don't we, Randy?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not as funny as he is, but
Oh, man. Yeah, he is kind of funny. I like him, actually. You know, he's like a professor or some shit. That
yeah, he's
dude.
Professor.
Like,
Yeah, he's also plays Moriarty in that show Watson.
oh, really?
He plays Professor Moriarty.
Huh.
Well, not anymore. They just killed him off.
Yeah, I don't like it when they race swap characters, unless if they make them Asian. Then I agree with it. That's the only
But
time
knowing
I'm
his,
okay with
but knowing his background in comedy and such, though, it just wasn't quite right. It wasn't quite right for him to be Moriarty, you know.
Anyway, okay, so tonight, this episode, I've got two cryptid experts with me because tonight we are going to do a power ranking of different cryptids. And tonight, as you can see on the screen here, I have a tier list set up, and we are going to rank the cryptids by their power levels, guys, to see which cryptids are more powerful or could defeat other cryptids. We're going to rank them. It's going to be awesome. All right, so let me explain the ranks, or let me explain the system by which we're going to measure their powerfulness, okay? It's a system that I like to call the Brock Lesnar scale. The question is, how many Brock Lesnars would it take to take down this one cryptid, okay? So, for example, starting from the very bottom, we have 0 to 1 Brock Lesnars. Less than 1 Brock Lesnar, I call handicap Brock. Brock Lesnar in a wheelchair. All right, Brock Lesnar in a wheelchair is about 0.5 Brock Lesnar's.
That's one right after he had that beat up and he got beat up and turned out he had an appendicitis or some stomach issue or whatever.
No, man, I literally just told AI to put Brock Lesnar in a wheelchair, and that's what it
okay,
made.
never mind then.
Yeah. It's a pretty good job, though, gotta admit.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, because honestly, he was in a wheelchair for a while after one of his matches.
Yeah. So if 1 Brock Lesnar is enough to take down this cryptid, we'll put it at the very bottom. That's the weakest of the cryptids, right? By the way, not all of these entries are going to be cryptids. There are going to be some non-cryptids in here, but that's more of just as a reference point, you know.
Okay.
So then we got 1 Brock Lesnar, and then the next on the scale, the yellow, is 1 to 5 Brock Lesnars. It would take up to 5 Brock Lesnars to take down this one cryptid if they all got into a fight. All right. The next scale, the next level, we have 5 to 20 Brock Lesnars. Like it might take up to 20 Brock Lesnars to beat up this particular cryptid.
Okay.
And then the second from the top, we've got a fuck ton of Brock Lesnars.
That's kind of scary, actually.
You like that?
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, so that's pretty. And then the final level, we have Omega level. This is like the most powerful. You can't fuck with it. the Omega level. All right. So we
Yeah,
get the scales, right?
But
Yeah.
but fuck ton of Brock Lesnar's though, they look like a whole bunch more of those Alan Richardsons from like, you know, the Reacher show.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's. That's scary, actually.
Yeah, we won't deal with that one.
Okay.
And Brock did have a man bun there for a while there, Nemo. He did.
Yeah, he did have a man bun. It was kind of awkward. It's like the last guy you would
Kinda
expect to have a
scary.
man bun.
Yeah, but then he turned it into that ponytail, which is okay.
Okay, so let's start with our first cryptid. And there's going to be several variations of it, but we're going to have the vanilla version of Bigfoot, the generic brand. Its powers include it is immune to cameras. It has enhanced strength and stealth abilities, and it has a 3-foot long penis. So, gentlemen, let me ask you, the floor is yours. And the people at home, you may also chime in. How many Brock Lesnar's would it take to beat up a regular Bigfoot? Where are we going with this, gentleman? A fuck ton? I don't know, man. I don't think one Bigfoot could take on like 20 Brock Lesnar's.
I would go 5 to 20.
5 to 20? Okay.
I got to say over 20 because you know that big thing that's running around right now is the 100 men versus one gorilla thing.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where it came from either, but I'd sit there. I'd love to see 100 normal men take on a gorilla just so I could see that gorilla bash them like their little redheaded stepchildren.
Keith's wife says 5 plus. Okay, so I think we're in between the 5 and 20 Brock Lesnar range. So we'll put that there. Okay. Now for our second Bigfoot variation, we have the Florida skunk ape version of Bigfoot. The slightly shittier version of Bigfoot. Now, what I mean by slightly shittier, like, okay, if a person has a Bigfoot encounter and that Bigfoot is less than 7 feet tall, I'm sorry, but that's a slightly shittier version of Bigfoot.
It's a big orangutan.
Yeah, it's if it's less than 7 feet tall, it's the shittier version. It probably only even has its dick is probably only 2 feet long, guys. What a loser. Am I right? All right.
Yeah, agreed.
Florida skunk ape, guys. Where are we going with this one?
I'm sticking with 5 to 20.
5 to 20?
Yep.
Man, I don't know. I'm thinking
it's going to take
5.
at least because that thing's going to be a lot stronger than you.
I think two Brock Lesnar's could beat the fuck out of a Florida skunk ape.
I don't think so. Because that thing used to be in the swamp. It'll take Brock Lesnar and drown him. One hand on each of those two you got and shove him under the water. He's done.
Okay. So, but we're going to put it behind regular Bigfoot because it's definitely shittier than the regular Bigfoot. Like I said. If it's less than 6 feet, if it's less than 7 feet, it's like a shitty Bigfoot. But a real Bigfoot should be like more than 7 feet. Should be like 8 or 9 feet.
I kind of agree, but when you're talking about these two, you talk about that's a wide range there. That 5 to 20, it may take 20. He's saying 20 for the regular Bigfoot, and we were saying just 5 for the skunk ape. So you got a wide range there still.
Nemo Bear saying stench puts him right over 5 right off the bat. Keith says skunk ape smells like ass. Brock throws up from the stink. I'm saying 5.
Yep.
Okay.
There. I'm good with that.
Solid rationale. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Now we got the big cheese up in here. We've got the Alaskan version of Bigfoot. This is the big mean motherfuckers. Look at all those Brock Lesnar's running away in fear.
Running scared.
Right? So we got the Alaskan version. Now the Alaskan version, this is what I refer to as the Portlock, Alaska version of Bigfoot. Will straight up kill your ass if you try to fuck with his salmon.
Yep. 100%.
Because that's what happened to all those motherfuckers over at Portlock, Alaska, man. He disappeared that whole town because they tried to fuck with his salmon, yo.
And then those people who try to come back in there, you run them off too.
Yeah. And Alaskan Bigfoot will straight up reduce your property value.
Yeah.
He's a real estate agent's worst nightmare. If you get an Alaskan Bigfoot moving up in your neighborhood, goodbye home equity. There it goes. Right? So, Alaskan Bigfoot, the big motherfucker. These things are like 12 feet tall, apparently. They iced the whole town. And these aren't just like a town of regular folk. These are like hardened Alaskan mountain men dudes.
I'm going with a fuck ton.
A fuck ton?
Because it's got to be over 20. It's got to be over 20 on this one.
All right, we're putting him at a fuck ton. All right. All right, now we got Dogman, the vanilla version. He does not transform, guys, because then that would be a werewolf. And he is our Lord and Savior, Church of Dogman. Where are we putting Dogman at? Now, remember, you're not just putting him into rank, but we're also putting him where he should fit amongst the other choices.
So I'm putting him up there at 5 and 20. 5 to 20.
5 to 20 where, though?
Could
he take on the Florida skunk ape? Yeah, he could fuck up a Florida skunk ape.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's in the 20 range, really, because it's more violent. I mean, the Dogman has more history of violence, so you talk about.
So do you think Dogman beats up a generic Bigfoot, vanilla Bigfoot?
I think it'd be a tough fight.
I think
that's an any given Sunday thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But we're all in agreement he's not messing with no Alaskan Bigfoot.
No, I think you'd be turned into a hound dog by that point.
Yeah, that Alaskan Bigfoot would fuck him up. Yeah. Don't be fucking with his salmon, yo. Okay, so because I originally had Dogman at 5 Brock Lesnar's.
Yeah.
But
once again, you talk about something that has a history of violence and is reportedly taken human life before. So he's not a happy camper to start with. If you were half man, half dog, what would you act? Would you be happy? Hell no.
Okay. Now
I don't know. You could never mind.
I mean, if you have like one Brock Lesnar on each limb, I think they could fuck up a dog, man. I don't know.
I'm still taking Dogman because Brock Lesnar ain't got the teeth.
No,
he ain't got the claws, and he ain't got the agility that the Dogman does.
And I don't think he can F5 him properly.
I would like AI to make a video of Brock Lesnar F5ing a Dogman. That would be fun
that'd be
to watch.
Hilarious.
Yeah,
that'd be hilarious.
Okay, now we've got the extra Dogman. We've got
wait
the Beast of Jevo Dunn.
Wait, look at Keith down there. Dogman humps his leg. They run off together into the sunset. So yeah, 5 to 20. I'm good with that.
Dogman wants a milk bone too. Could you imagine if that was Dogman's weakness? If you ever encounter Dogman, you just keep dog treats in your pocket and you just chuck it at him, and then Dogman gets all panty. He's like, "Dog treats, milk bone," and then he just like, "All right,
Scooby snack,
Scooby snack."
Hey, I got an announcement.
Oh yeah,
Uh-oh.
There's gonna be a night owl tonight.
Now
Rob will not be doing a show. He's sick, so we will be doing one on the porch.
Hey, can I hop on with you?
Absolutely.
I'll be bored. So, and I was like, I was going to sit here and watch, but I was like, yeah, I'll pop in. What'll be the topic, by the way?
I do not know.
Maybe the topic will be the Beast of Jevo Dunn, aka Dogman on steroids. You see him juicing up right there? He's the French killing machine. Body count of conservative estimates are 80. More liberal estimates are like 400 plus. And may have accidentally caused the French Revolution. Whoops. Where are we putting Beast of Jevo Dunn, gentlemen? Definitely above regular Dogman. I mean, this thing is Dogman on steroids.
Yeah, I would have to say probably.
Oh, yeah.
Well, judging from the amount of chaos it caused and the legend and lore of it and how many people supposedly were killed by
ripping people's heads off and shit.
You got to put him at fuck ton.
Fuck ton? Keith is at fuck ton? Okay,
Yeah.
we're doing a fuck ton. The question, though,
Did they have steroids?
Does Beast of Jevo Dunn take on Alaskan Bigfoot?
Nah.
Nah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, that thing, Alaskan Bigfoot can chuck a bulldozer at him.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like a mini King Kong. All right. No.
Okay. So the next one is my personal favorite. And this one is not a cryptid per se, but it's more for, frame of reference. This one is a creature known as Donny Cho, a.k.a. the Donster Monster,
0 to 1.
a.k.a. the most powerful psychic in the paranormal cryptid world, the leader of the Church of Dogman, and professional Bigfoot slayer. Gentlemen, can Donny
0 to
Cho
1.
beat up Brock Lesnar?
Actually, less than 0.
Less than 0? What did people
Yeah, you put it down to 0 to 1. That's it, because you can't have a negative amount on this, okay?
I mean, could Donny Cho take on Brock Lesnar in a wheelchair, guys? No, I think
No.
Brock Lesnar in a wheelchair still beats me up.
Yeah, pretty much.
I bet you I could whip Brock Lesnar's ass if he was in a coma or if he was in a vegetative state.
Well, yeah, you could get away
you
with
go.
it.
The famous saying, how you going to beat him? In his sleep with a stick?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Okay, we have our first entry into 0 to 1. Brock Lesnar's. More creepy than carp.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a second. Keith got another one there. If you had your Dogman church members with you, what about then?
Yeah, but that would be cheating, though. That wouldn't be relevant. I'm talking about straight up fisticuffs. No special powers. No numbers.
I'm talking about powers. I'm just talking about the whole church taking him on then.
Oh, yeah. If it was a whole church, if I had an army with me, then yeah.
Well, your church is all about what, 6? Nah,
it's
never
growing.
mind.
It's growing.
You're still at 0 to 1. So.
Okay, gentlemen. By the way, these are in alphabetical order. The next one is the Elvis.
I'm telling you.
The newest cryptid. 8th degree Kenpo black belt. He has hips of thunder. His only weakness, gentlemen, fried peanut butter and banana sandwiches.
Omega.
Omega? Are we putting him at Omega?
I'm putting him in Omega. I don't care what anybody else does.
Oh, well, what are the people at home saying? Okay.
They're not saying anything.
People are like, Elvis goes to Omega level.
Yes.
Damn.
You just don't touch. Omega. You don't mess with Elvis.
Okay. Now, we've got the Fae. Doing the Rock
Why'd
Johnson.
You find that one?
Remember that movie, The Tooth Fairy?
Yes, I remember The Tooth Fairy. It stunk. God, it was bad. But
so
still.
The Fae, so they're all magical and shit, and they will randomly fuck with people in the woods. So this one's tough because I want it to be more about like their physical power, like if they have to fight one-on-one. Once they get all magical and shit, I don't know. It's
kind of tough then.
It's hard to rank. But then, like, if a Fae had to like straight up fist fight like a Bigfoot, I don't know, man.
Now that depends. Are you talking about this Fae right here that you got there, or the ones you had in the opening with all the girls over with the dumbbells? Because I'm telling you, he's going to get distracted with them.
Nemovir's like, if you catch them, less than 1, 0 to 99.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I'm talking about just straight up, just physically in a fight. Honestly, I don't think they shit.
But like Keith says, what level of Fae? His wife asked what level of Fae?
Minus the magical. Okay, if it's magical shit,
what
then...
What kind of Fae?
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about getting rid of the magical part of it, they're not Fae then.
Yeah, they're all just magical.
I mean, are you talking... I mean, you're looking... When you're talking about Fae, you're talking about tree beards.
Hmm. They look like they could probably mess things up.
Yeah.
I feel like this one is that could vary depending on the type then, huh?
Yeah, it could go all the way from top to bottom. You could actually put that in all 5 categories.
I'll put this at 1 to 5 just because that's sitting there empty, but it could be as high as fuck ton, but as low as less than 1.
It's definitely not Omega though.
Yeah, definitely not Omega. Okay, so the next one for the Brock Lesnar scale, gentlemen.
Okay.
Gray aliens.
Oh, right? 1 to 5. Well, they're not allowed to use their
so gray aliens,
right?
Yep, they're from Zeta Reticuli, telepathic, but not really much else. And they tend to do weird sexual shit with human
yeah.
abductees.
There's
So
0 to
that's
1.
without a spaceship, right?
Without a spaceship, without their mind powers, like
Yeah.
straight up just fisticuffs. Like
Oh,
if they
yeah,
had to
0
like
to 1.
straight up just no powers fight Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
No.
0 to whatever.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar
Yeah.
fucks that thing up.
Yeah, he'd break his neck without even thinking twice.
Here's
Look,
the
you're not
question,
alone
though.
down there.
But can Donnie Cho beat up a gray alien, gentlemen? What do you think?
With no special powers?
No
Yeah.
special powers.
I'm gonna say yeah.
Thank you.
What you do? You turn around and you taekwondo his ass, and you.
Yeah, I got some
all screwed
taekwondo
up.
skills. I'd punch that,
Exactly.
kick that motherfucker in his big head.
Yep.
Yeah, no powers though. Yeah, as soon as
No
he's got
power,
powers,
just
then I'm
straight
screwed.
taekwondo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight
you're done.
taekwondo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now we've got Jesus pre-crucifixion.
Omega.
Martial arts. Oh, you're heading out?
Yep.
Oh. Okay. Wait, did you say Omega?
Above Omega.
Above Omega. Well, remember, this is pre-crucifixion, meaning he's just a regular man, right? Now, his thing is he's got martial arts abilities that he learned while traveling the Far East, and he's got great abs.
Hmm.
By the way, do you know why? Do you know why I had Jesus with nunchucks? Because it was that one passage in the Bible where, remember where he comes across that temple and everyone's like selling shit and he gets
Yeah.
all pissed off and starts flipping all the tables and stuff.
Yep.
And then in the passage, it said that Jesus made a rod of small cords. And I'm thinking, them's
He made his own
nunchucks.
nunchucks, huh?
And he was nunchucking them fools.
It's kind of
All
cool,
right, guys.
actually. That's
We'll see y'all later.
I
All
should
right.
catch you later.
Y'all jump in at 10.
All right,
Okay,
cool.
10 o'clock.
See you in
Gotcha.
a bit. Peace.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm this one. I'm kind of with him though. Definitely Omega, but whether or not I could, he's got to go just for shits and giggles because somebody's going to yell at me and try and burn me at the stake if I don't say it. He's got to go above Elvis.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. I've got two versions of Jesus up in here.
Okay.
I've got regular Jesus, and then we got Second Coming Jesus.
Ooh.
See, Second Coming Jesus, I think it's safe to say we could put at Omega level.
Yes, definitely. Prior to though.
Above the Elvis.
Yeah,
But
he's
regular
just
Jesus, like regular human Jesus, remember, he could still take damage. I mean, you've seen Passion of the
Yeah.
Christ, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he took mad damage, yo.
Yeah, but he went. He bore it pretty well. I would say he'd have to be a 5 to 20 then.
5 to 20?
Yeah,
because he could definitely whip
because
Brock Dogman's ass.
He
Can regular Jesus beat up Bigfoot? That's the question, though.
No, I don't think so on that one. But
Okay.
I would say that the reasoning on that one is the fact that he can absorb the punishment. He could take it, you know what I mean, and keep coming. So that's the thing that put him over the top on the other ones.
Okay. Now we have.
This looks
Oh,
familiar.
Tex missed out. He should have stayed for this one. The
Yeah,
Lake Worth
he
Monster.
Yeah.
So his
okay.
abilities. He's got tire throwing skills. He's got super strength. He's known to be a bit of a party crasher, and he likes long walks on the beach.
I'm saying 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
Yeah.
So he's a regular big. I mean, he's strong, right? He did chuck that tire pretty far, but I'm guessing like 2 Brock Lesnar's could do that too.
I would think so. I mean, because like I said, you know, we only know this thing one time that was quote unquote really around, and I mean the rumors have always been around, but as far as true interaction, it was that one time for the most part. So
okay, so we're gonna put him at 1 to 5. What about people
I'm
in the
saying
chat?
1 to 5. Half of them won't even know what he is.
Jason.
That's in.
Overbuilt. What's up? Okay, so we're putting Lake Worth Monster at 1 to 5.
Yep. And I don't think he can take the Fae.
You don't think so? You think the Fae whoops his ass?
I think so. I think they if even if the Fae didn't have their magic and it was just a fisticuffs, they can still fly. and they could stick and move. You know what I mean?
Okay. So let's see what else we got here.
What we got?
Next up, Loch Ness Monster, aka the shittiest cryptid, aka
This is all
the Gary Coleman of cryptids.
Your view of it, and other people love him or her.
And he's
or whatever it is.
definitely not a plesiosaur. Get the fuck out of here with that plesiosaur shit. So, Randy,
that one. If
hey, by the way,
everything
did
is
you know
on the up-
plesiosaurs, their necks, they don't even bend that way.
No, they don't. But you got to remember that when was that done? 1934 or something like that.
Whatever.
And they didn't know any of that crap back then. Remember, because T-Rexes still walked upright, straight up,
Yeah.
just like Land of the Lost. So, anyway,
Simply's like, nope, as low as you can go. Neovir's like fake.
Yeah, I would have to say I'm with them on it because the 0 to 1 actually, because they're right, it never show up. You expect it to be there and it wouldn't be there. Now, if you
here's
talk
the
about
thing, though. I think it really depends on whether or not you catch it on land or in the water.
Yeah, exactly.
If you catch it on land, then that motherfucker's just a beach whale, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Donny Cho would just club that piece of shit to death like a fucking baby seal. It's useless outside the water, right? But in the water, Brock Lesnar's not fucking with that thing.
No, that thing could run circles around him.
Look at Brock Lesnar trying to swim away all scared. Nessie 100% sucks. Damn straight. Damn freaking straight. So, where are we putting Nessie at?
Out of water, 0 to 1.
0 to 1?
Yeah.
Does the gray alien beat up Nessie outside the water?
I still think it's too weak.
Yeah. I mean, Donny Cho could definitely whoop Nessie's ass outside the water. In the water, though.
In the water, yeah, you're going to at least 5 to 20.
Okay.
Then you got to deal with it in his home turf.
Now, the next cryptid, Mishipesu, the king of Michigan.
Yeah.
Will kill your ass if you try to steal his copper. The ultimate penny pincher, and also known for crappy sports teams.
Yeah.
So,
Michigan.
This Mishipeshu, none of all the Native Americans in that area, the Potawatomi and the Ojibwe, they're like, man, you can't fuck with this thing. This thing will fuck your ass up if you try to get with its copper. Like, they're all scared, right?
Copper version of the dragons. We heard that before, huh?
Yeah. So this one I'm thinking is pretty high up there.
Yeah.
I mean, his sports teams are crappy, but other than that, I mean, he's pretty damn powerful.
I would have to go a fuck ton because, you talk about how many Native Americans went off and they come back, only a couple come back to tell the story. You know what I mean?
Okay, we're doing a fuck ton?
I would say a fuck ton on that one.
Over Alaskan Bigfoot or under?
Under.
Or Beast of Under Alaskan Bigfoot, what about Beast of Jevodon?
I think it would take that too. I think because of now you got a greed aspect of it, Beast of Jevodon has no greed involved. He just wants to kill people.
Okay. So, the next up, we got Mothman. Does Mothman beat up Brock Lesnar? Let's find out. So,
not even in a weirdest. No, not close. No.
So Mothman has the power of flight. He also has no neck, which makes him immune to headlocks and chokeholds. And he has low bone density because apparently, according to the stories, those wings were kind of small. So his bone density must be like very low in order for him to achieve flight.
He gets snapped in two.
You think Brock Lesnar fucks him up?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Because think about that. Think about that caricature you got right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Look at those little bitty wings and that big old body. Those things ain't going to lift him.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. Well, the thing is, if Brock Lesnar tries to F5 his ass, though, Mothman will just fly away. He'll just flutter away.
Or he'll glide
Keith
away.
Keith is like, He picks up Brock and drops him in flight.
If he was a gargoyle, I'd say yeah.
Hmm.
Because gargoyle is rock. I don't think
But
he
I
ever gets
love
off
me
the
some
ground with him though.
Mothman. Oh, simply
I'm
don't
not a
talk to
Mothman
Randy
guy.
about Mothman.
Nope,
He
do
will
not talk to me about
ruin
Mothman.
your day.
Yep, because I'll tell you straight up, the whole Mothman thing is nothing but a big owl. That's all there was to it.
Brock tears the wings off Mothman.
I'm okay with that one, Nemo.
Okay, so we'll put him at less than 1.
Yeah, I would say less than 1.
Can Donnie Cho beat up a Mothman? What do you think?
Maybe. I'm going to give you a maybe on that one.
Hmm.
Only because I don't know the true strength of Mothman.
Yeah, I think Mothman whoops Donnie Cho's ass, honestly.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, you're number 2 down there now.
Yeah. All right. We've got a few left. Next up,
Yep.
fucking Nephilim. Known for having one-track minds. They're always trying to fuck. But they're giants who have sex with human-sized women. Therefore, their dicks must be really
little.
small. Little-ass dicks relative to their body sizes. They're probably like the opposite of Bigfoot. And they're
Well, I
also
can't-
known
I
to be
can't throw
hot
no
dog eating
stone,
champions. I'm willing to bet that if you took a Nephilim and brought him to like a Nathan's hot dog eating contest, he would tear shit up.
Oh, yeah. He'd tear it
Yeah.
up in a heartbeat.
He'd tear it
He'd
up.
make Joey Chestnut cry.
That Kobayashi dude. Yeah. But Nephilim, man, where are we putting them redheaded giants at? They got to be up there, right? They're giants.
Oh, yeah. They're giants. I would think it would take more than 20. I think it'd be in the fuck ton.
Fuck done? Okay.
Now that one right there, I would say maybe a little bit of a fight for the Alaskan Bigfoot too.
Does Alaskan
reason
Bigfoot take on Nephilim?
Yeah, the only reason I say it because we're talking about another giant. You know what I mean? And it's actually rumor is that it's bigger than the Alaskan Bigfoot.
Yeah, we'll put it above the Alaskan Bigfoot.
It's hard. I mean, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I bet that's like Texas saying that's an any given Sunday thing. You know, whichever one gets the first punch is probably going to be the winner.
Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, ready for the next cryptid?
Yeah.
Okay. Reptilian humanoids, aka reptoids. Now, these creatures, they have the ability to assume human form. A lot of times they will infiltrate our places of government and business. And they are known to have high protein diets because apparently babies are full of protein.
Yeah, they eat all the babies, right?
Yep. So they got like a lot of, I mean, they're slick, right? They're slick, but how do they hold up against the Brock Lesnar, though? What do you guys think in the chat?
Yeah, because they're gonna have to give me more on that one because this is one that's they're shapeshifters to start with, but now obviously can they use that in the fight or whatever, or
But they probably just look like a regular human, right? They're not like shapeshifting into a T-Rex or nothing, right?
well, that's just it. You said the shapeshifting skills, they could do whatever they wanted.
No, I mean like they can turn into like look like regular humans and then
so
look like politicians and shit.
You're
and
thinking like the
CEOs.
ones in Secret Invasion with the they could assume the looks of humans.
Yeah.
Still without any extra, 0 to 1 then. Without any extra help.
Brock Lesnar whoops its ass. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't even know if it really beats the gray alien or not.
Okay, so the next one is where are we ranking Galactus? If you had Galactus from the Marvel's universe, obviously Galactus is not a cryptid, but Galactus is pretty fucking powerful, right? It's the most powerful being in Marvel. It's like the eater of worlds.
Yep.
So, actually, Galactus, let's say, is clearly going to be Omega level, right up there with Jesus, Second Coming Jesus.
Yeah.
and the Elvis. But the
Yep.
question is, Randy, can Galactus take on Second Coming Jesus? Because, Second Coming Jesus is Second Coming Jesus, but Galactus
Exactly.
eats worlds.
I don't think that matters because I think the Second Coming Jesus is just gonna kill him with kindness, type thing.
Okay, so I couldn't answer this question. It was a hard, difficult question to see. So what I did was I had to ask our resident comic book and Bible expert, Jason
Yeah.
McLean.
Yeah.
Because Jason McLean is an expert in both fields. So I asked him, and he prepared a video. Would you like to see it?
Well, why not? Sure.
Okay. I'm not irritated at the question per se. It's not because it's a silly question. It's not because it's somehow sacrilegious. It's not. It's that it is such a preposterous question that has its answer is so obvious that I'm having to answer it is what bothers me. Now, I'm here in my geek shirt. And for those who don't know, let me rock some bona fides for you. I have issue number 1 of Sandman by Jack Kirby. And this is my copy of the New King James Bible given to me by the religious editor who was my Sunday school teacher. So I got my foot in both worlds here. Let me answer this question. You see, this question is like saying, could Mike Tyson, that's who I'm thinking of. Could Mike Tyson in his prime take a 13-year-old girl who was missing a leg? Yes. The answer is an obvious yes. And you may say, okay, well, Jason, who are you obviously saying? It's Jesus. Not even a question. There's no hesitation here. And you may be saying, well, it's because you're Christian, you're allied with him. All of those things are true, but not why I'm saying it. Let's explain who Galactus actually is. Galactus is a alien being that survived the destruction of the last universe in the Marvel universe, right? So in the Marvel universe, there was a universe before. Galactus was originally named Galen. He was a scientist on a ship with other members of his race, and the universe was collapsing. They called it a crunch, a cosmic crunch. Essentially, the universe was collapsing in on itself. They fly into this massive star in the middle of the universe, hoping to try and survive it, do something, maybe prevent it from collapsing and destroying everything. They fail. However, he's changed by the Big Bang that creates the Marvel 616 universe. He becomes Galactus, the World Devourer. Now, 2 quick things to point out. Is he a cosmic entity that has to exist in the Marvel universe? Yes. But here's the thing. He needs technology and he needs to feed. There's a reason why I picked this picture, that contraption in his hand, or in both hands, not for decoration. In order for him to consume planets, the life energy from the planet, he needs machinery. The ship that he's on is literally the thing that came with him from the other universe. It wasn't just him that was changed, it was his technology. He has technology. He needs it to travel the universe. He needs it to consume planets and satiate his hunger. Are we starting to get the picture here? Can he go toe to toe with celestials? Yeah, because they too are created beings. Now let's ask the other question here. So who's Jesus? Literally the God that created the universe. I'm a Trinitarian. He is God. In fact, more specifically, he is the person that physically creates all of everything from nothing. There was nothing. Then God, triune being, creates the invisible universe, the spiritual universe, and the material universe. Jesus is the active force that does that. All things were made through him and by him. So here's the thing. When Jesus was walking the earth in his first coming, he had divorced himself from those powers. He was living as a human being. So all the miracles he performs was done by the Holy Spirit through him, just like every human being. He did not use his own power or authority. He was living as a perfect human. Post-resurrection, on the other hand, he's not limited anymore. He doesn't limit himself anymore. He's just God. Upon his return, he is exercising all of his power. And what you have to understand is he is only using as much power to do what he needs to do. At the great white throne judgment, he literally wipes all of creation away. There's nothing but God, the spiritual world, us, and him. That's it. He literally wipes the entire universe clean. There's the great white throne judgment. Everyone gets to see what side they're on. And then he's just creates a new universe that we all go back to. This isn't hard for him. He doesn't need to consume anything. He doesn't need technology to do his work. He is power. So yeah, second coming Christ versus Galactus. Who does this go to? This isn't a question. It's Jesus. And it's not just because I'm on his side, because I'm also a geek. The simple fact of the matter is this just isn't a fight at all. Jesus doesn't even have to fight him. We forget, Jesus doesn't even fight Satan upon his return. It's two random stunt angels that aren't even named who chain him up and throw him into the abyss. These aren't fights. There's just him showing up and everything else getting knocked down.
So,
Okay. I want you to tell Jason he successfully in 5 minutes, 6 minutes, put me to sleep.
all right. So we'll put second coming Jesus ahead of Galactus.
Yes.
Out of respect for our dear friend Jason, who basically the argument is that Galactus still relies on technology. Second coming Jesus doesn't.
Yep. I agree.
Okay. So I think we're pretty clear on what the Omega level is here.
Yeah, yeah. We're the all-knowing, all-powerful beings.
Yes. But Randy, there's one more that might
Okay.
upset the balance.
Uh-oh. What we got?
We've got a run-in, Randy.
Okay.
We have, now you may think, oh, this is a pretty clear ranking here, right? We got second coming Jesus ahead of Galactus, ahead of the Elvis, right?
Yep.
But here comes the monkey wrench. Behold, he has
dear Lord.
arrived. He has arrived. Now, Chuck Norris. Abilities. Ghost tell Chuck Norris stories at the campfire. The second one. The Dead Sea Scroll was the Dead Sea was alive before Chuck Norris swam there. Chuck Norris narrates Morgan Freeman's life. Oh, I've got more.
I believe every
Randy.
one of them. Oh, trust me, I got a whole book of nothing but Chuck Norris stuff. So
Chuck Norris used to beat the shit out of his shadow because it was too close, and now stands a safe 30 feet behind. The quickest way to a man's heart is with Chuck Norris's fist. Chuck Norris's cowboy boots are made from real cowboys. And
that doesn't surprise me.
Chuck Norris once entered a dick measuring contest with Bigfoot and won.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris's tears cure cancer. Too bad he has never cried. Dogman is neutered. Why? Chuck Norris.
That I believe. That I believe.
Behold.
Yes. I about to say, Brock just needs to bow.
He just
Bow
bows.
and pay homage. Now, would
Now,
I put him ahead of Second Coming Jesus? I don't know about that. But you know what? Everybody else takes a step behind.
we're putting him up there.
Yeah.
Above
Yeah, right there.
Galactus, the eater of worlds.
Oh, above Galactus. Because I tell you what, Galactus eats world because Chuck Norris told him to sit down and eat.
Oh, damn. He's that powerful, huh?
Which, have you ever seen that video that was out there that had Chuck Norris arms folded like that? And he's got his legs on two ends of the tips of the aircraft of the planes.
Mhm.
And there's like a full circus tumbler bunch of trapeze artists above him. They're all made a human little pyramid, and they pull apart, and you just see Chuck Norris do the splits with his wings. That keeps everybody held on. It's freaking amazing. I don't know what that guy is, because he's not anything that we could actually explain.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's just Chuck Norris. That's all it is. Chuck Norris.
He is the one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's recap here, Randy.
Okay. All
So
right.
we'll start from the bottom and we'll work our way to the top. So the bottom being Brock Lesnar in a wheelchair status, right?
Mhm.
We've got Mothman, right?
Yeah.
Then we've got Donny Cho, the most powerful psychic and professional
Yep.
Bigfoot slayer.
Okay.
Oh, but ahead of him we've got reptoids, right? Reptilian
Yeah, you forgot the
humanoids.
reptoids. Yeah.
Yep.
The reptoids.
Don't forget the reptoids.
Yep.
And then we got those gray aliens, which, would normally be higher if they were able to use their telepathy powers.
Yeah. If they could use that actual telekinesis, he might be in a world of hurt.
But just straight up fisticuffs? Nah.
Nah. Yeah.
And then we got the shitty ass Loch Ness monster, who even Donnie Cho could beat to death with a club, like a baby seal.
As long as he's on land.
As long as he's on land. Because if he's not on land, he's actually more powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. You in his domain.
Yeah. And then from 1 to 5, we've got. So for the 1 to 5 Brock Lesnar's, we've got fairies.
Yep.
They'll randomly fuck with you in the woods. And then we've got the Lake Worth monster.
Yeah.
Do you like that picture, by the way? I particularly like that one.
It's kind of cool. I mean, it's one of those things, like, I'd never heard the story about the goat, the horns and such like that. So
I didn't know I had goat horns. I thought it was just
I
a white
didn't either.
Bigfoot.
That's the way I understood it originally, but that's I didn't hear all the other stories he was talking about. So
anyway, now we're moving on to 5 to 20 Brock Lesnar's. And this one is going to be, first one, Bigfoot.
regular old Bigfoot.
Regular old Bigfoot. Followed by pre-crucifixion Jesus.
Yep.
With the great abs.
Yep. And the nunchucks. Don't forget the nunchucks.
And the nunchucks. Don't forget the nunchucks. He could do nunchucks, guys. It's proven in the Bible. He had nunchuck skills. And then we got regular ass Dogman.
Yep.
The
Did we ever
generic brand.
decide if there was any other Dogman other than regular ass Dogman?
Yeah, we had the Beast of Jevo Dunn.
Well, yeah,
Dogman
but
on steroids.
Yeah, I'd still consider him separate. But anyway, okay.
And then behind them, we have Florida Skunk Ape, the slightly shittier version of Bigfoot.
Yep. Shorter
Randy,
and squattier.
Don't tell Brandy this, but between you and me, okay, this is our little secret, okay?
Okay.
You know how Brandy had her Bigfoot encounter?
Uh-huh.
And then when I asked her like how big it was, she was like, "Oh, it was about 6'6". I was like, "Oh man,
That's not big.
that's like a shittier version of Bigfoot. You caught the shitty one.
Yeah.
I want the big cheese up in here, you know?
Oh yeah. I want to be run out of
Yeah.
Portlock. I want to be the guy run out of Portlock.
I want that mini King Kong up in there.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Parker's like, how strong is Bolo Young? You know, Matt Parker, I was actually thinking about doing an entire episode dedicated
Oh, that dude
to Bolo Young.
is scary. As fast and as big as he is, it is almost scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved a lot of his movies because he did other movies than Bloodsport, you know. But
He was great,
and there's
man.
a couple of them. Yeah, he actually does a real good job on his. Even when they quote unquote make he's great as a bad guy because he fits that type. But he has a couple where he's an actual like a bodyguard for a couple of kids and stuff on one of them. And I just caught it. I don't even remember what I was watching to catch it, but it was like a B movie that was caught. I don't remember if I caught it on like Kung Fu Theater, you know, back in the 80s, you know, or if it was something I found on Netflix by accident, you know. So I don't even remember the name of it, but he was pretty cool. He really was.
Actually, hold on. I'm trying to find.
I'm assuming he's still alive. So
no, he's still alive. I've seen recent pictures of him.
Okay.
I'm trying to find some Bolo Young. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to do a share screen.
Okay.
Stop screen. Oh, wait, never mind. Let's not do that. Okay.
Yeah.
Where were we, by the way?
We were at
Florida Skunk Ape. Okay,
Yeah,
now we're at fuck ton of Brock Lesnar's. Okay. So fuck ton of Brock Lesnar's. We've got let's see, we've got Nephilim.
Yep. Nephilim first.
It's hard to scroll up and down and find all these pictures. We got Nephilim, and then we got Mishipeshu.
Wait, Alaska Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, Alaska Bigfoot.
Yep.
Hold on. Boom. Alaska Bigfoot.
Yep.
Then we had Mishipeshu, the king of the bad sports teams.
Yeah. And the king of copper.
Mm-hmm. Don't fuck with this copper, yo. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Those little Jeepway, they're like, man, you don't want to be doing that. Okay, and then we got Beast of Jevodun.
Yeah.
AKA Dogman on steroids.
Yep.
And finally, at the Omega level, we've got Second Coming Jesus. We've got Galactus. Followed by Chuck. Well, Chuck Norris is higher than Galactus, but under Second Coming Jesus. And then we have finally the Elvis.
That one I can go with because, like I said,
yeah,
Elvis was a bad son of a gun at one time.
Yeah,
that was the only thing that kept him going there. The late '60s, early '70s, and stuff when he was really kind of screwing himself up, and he started getting into the karate and trying to discipline himself. Couldn't stop his freaking drugs, but you know, hey, it is what it is on that. So
it is what it is.
I sat there and watched Red West, and a couple of the bodyguards. They would get lined up, and he put the knuckles out like that at his throat, and they put it on there. He used the throat to push 4 guys back. So he was no slouch when it came to the karate. So.
Yeah, I am thinking about doing a Bolo Young episode, guys.
Yeah,
we might do that.
I like that guy. I mean, I'd like to know a little bit more about him too, because I don't know near as much as I think I probably should know about him, because he was his biggest known for Bloodsport, obviously, you know. But anybody that ever watched any of the Kung Fu movies, he was in a bunch.
I could tell you an interesting fact about Bolo Young, actually.
Yeah.
He was originally born in mainland China,
Uh-huh.
but in order to escape the oppressive Chinese Communist Party, he actually swam from mainland China to Hong Kong.
Holy crap.
He swam there.
Dang. Yeah, Donny could take Steven Seagal. Yes, I think Donny could take Steven Seagal.
I don't know, man. Steven Seagal's kind of big. He's
Well,
like 6 something.
He's also fatter than crap too now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, there's a couple of I don't want to call them shoot interviews, but Michael J. White, you know, who starred in Exit Wounds with Steven Seagal and
Mhm.
several other shows. The dude's a legit fighter, is what he is. He's actually started as kind of like the way Billy Blanks did. He was a kickboxer and a fighter. He would tell people gripe about, you know, like Jean-Claude Van Damme or Bolo Young. He tells them straight out. He says they're different than people like Steven Seagal and some of the other guys, because these guys actually were competitive fighters at one time, competitive karate and such. They actually got out there and actually competed in the sport. They were real fighters, whereas the other ones are martial artists. He called them artists, you know, because that's what they do. They put over an art. They don't actually get out there and engage. I'm like, tell you right now, some of that stuff you watch, you know, Steven Seagal in his young days and stuff, it was amazing to watch the hand speed. But once again, you look back, it's all choreographed. Every bit of it's choreographed. So
now, Randy, I think we're gonna end it here. But before I do,
I like what Matt said though.
What?
Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bolo, they had a kindness and a deep understanding to them that Seagal didn't have, and he still doesn't to this day. But they do. Even Van Damme to this day, people say, "Oh, he's a douche this, he's a douche that." Yeah, but he's respectful to just about everybody. So, I hope it doesn't.
Okay.
He was in Double Impact. I forgot he was in Double Impact.
Oh wait, hold on. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You remember this scene?
Yep, I do now. I remember people commenting on this, and then Bloodsport, like, that's the biggest Chinaman I've ever seen in my life.
Anyway,
yeah, I remember the eye. I remember the eye now. Yeah,
that was a bad motherfucker, man.
I'm telling
Love me
you.
some old school Van Damme. That's another thing I want to do, Randy. An entire episode just dedicated to some old school Van Damme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He was very underrated too. I mean, he wasn't a great actor. Don't get me wrong, but if you watch the I think it was the second. Was it the second Expendables?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the third. I can't remember where he played the bad guy in that.
Yeah.
There's the second one when he kicked that knife into that dude's throat, and I was like, that. I know it was freaking choreographed and all that other stuff, but just the pure viewing of it, you know, the that scene was just like, holy crap, where did he come up with that one? So, but anyway.
All right, well, I guess we're gonna head out on this one, people. I hope you enjoyed. Check into Texas channel. I might pop in
10 o'clock 10 o'clock
10 o'clock Central. Randy, are you gonna hop on?
Yeah, I'm planning on going over there.
Okay, cool. Maybe I'll see you there.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. And with that, folks, we are out.
It's time for the ultimate test. To find out which cryptid is the best. Figure out who'd win in a fight. Gonna be a violent night. Cryptid power levels. Cryptid power levels. Gonna find the champion. Cryptid power levels. Bigfoot versus Dogman, who would win? Mothman versus Jesus, the bets are in. Donny Joe versus Big Ol' Nessie. Hold tight, folks, things bout to get messy. Cryptid power levels. Cryptid power levels. Gonna find the champion. Cryptid power levels. Which cryptid has the ultimate power to fight in rage and make other cower? Donny Joe says stuff for crazy nights. Ultimate cryptid power.